Welcome to Storybook's synopsis of Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King.
The Return of the King, a tale of heroism, hope, and the final battle against evil. Our adventure begins in the peaceful north of Middle-earth, where two friends, Smeagol and Deagol, are enjoying a day of fishing. But their lives change forever when Deagol is pulled into the river and discovers something glittering beneath the surface, the One Ring. Its dark power stirs instantly, and Smeagol, overcome with desire, demands the ring as a birthday gift. Their argument turns deadly, and in a moment of madness, Smeagol strangles his friend to claim the ring for himself. Cast out by his people and tormented by the ring's dark whispers, Smeagol retreats to the misty mountains, where over centuries he withers into the pitiful and twisted creature known as Gollum. As this haunting tale ends, we return to the present, where Frodo and Sam, two brave hobbits, are drawing ever closer to Mordor. The land grows darker and more menacing with each step toward the evil city of Minas Morgul. Gollum, now their guide, pushes them to keep moving. But while Frodo places his trust in Gollum, Sam remains suspicious. Far away, the heroes of Rohan and Gondor gather. Aragorn, Legolos, Gimli, Gandalf, King Theoden, and Eomer ride through the ancient forest of Fangorn to the ruined Tower of Isengard. There, Merry and Pippin greet them cheerfully amid the rubble of victory. Saruman, once the White Wizard, is now powerless and locked away by the Ent Treebeard. Though Gimli urges to strike Saruman down, Gandalf shows mercy. Among the wreckage, Pippin spots a mysterious glowing orb, the Palantir. Though Gandalf snatches it away, its strange allure leaves a mark on Pippin's heart. The Fellowship then rides to Edoras, where King Theoden hosts a feast to honor the fallen warriors of Helm's Deep. Eowyn, the king's niece, shows admiration for Aragorn, a noble ranger with the blood of kings. Meanwhile, Gandalf confides in Aragorn, worried about Frodo's journey. But Aragorn, ever hopeful, believes in their friend's strength. That night, Gollum secretly plots to betray Frodo and Sam. Speaking with his dark self, he hatches a plan to lead the hobbits to a monstrous creature named Shelob, who dwells in the haunted pass of Cirith Ungol. Sam, ever watchful, overhears Gollum and attacks him, but Frodo intervenes, still believing that Gollum is necessary to complete their quest. Gollum, hiding his wicked grin, begins driving a wedge between the two hobbits. Meanwhile, in Edoras, Pippin cannot resist the lure of the Palantir. In the dead of night, he steals it and gazes into its swirling depths, only to be trapped in a vision by Sauron himself. Pippin sees a white tree in flames and endures terrible mental torment. Though he reveals nothing to the Dark Lord, Gandalf realizes Sauron is preparing to attack Minas Tirith, the great city of Gondor. Fearing for the city's safety, Gandalf rides at once to sound the alarm, taking Pippin with him. In Rivendell, Arwen begins her journey to the Undying Lands but has a powerful vision of the child she might one day have with Aragorn. Her heart stirred, she turns back and begs her father, Elrond, to reforge the legendary sword Narsil, once wielded by Elendil to defeat Sauron in the Second Age. Elrond agrees, knowing the time of men has come. Gandalf and Pippin arrive at Minas Tirith, a city carved into the mountainside and guarded by the ancient white tree. There, they meet Denethor, the grieving steward of Gondor, who mourns the death of his son Boromir. Pippin, moved by Boromir's sacrifice, offers his sword in service to Denethor. But the steward, blind with sorrow and pride, refuses to see the threat looming before them. Elsewhere, Frodo, Sam, and Gollum reach the walls of the dreadful city of Minas Morgul. Suddenly, the gates open, and the Witch King of Angmar, the Lord of the Nazgul, leads a terrifying army of orcs toward Gondor. As lightning splits the sky, Gandalf sees the signal. War has begun. He urges Pippin to light the beacon, and soon a chain of fiery signals races across the mountaintops, calling Rohan to aid Gondor. At Edoras, King Theoden answers the call. As preparations for battle begin, Aragorn sees that Eowyn has secretly armed herself. Though she claims to ride only to bid them farewell, her determination says otherwise. Back at Osgiliath, Gondor's last line of defense falls. Faramir, Denethor's remaining son, fights valiantly but is forced to retreat. The Nazgul pursue, but Gandalf rides to meet them in a blaze of white light, saving Faramir and his men. When Faramir tells of Gollum's plan to guide Frodo into Cirith Ungol, Gandalf realizes the hobbits are walking into a trap. As Frodo climbs the treacherous stairs of Cirith Ungol, Gollum poisons his mind with lies about Sam, turning friend against friend. When Sam offers to carry the ring to ease Frodo's burden, Frodo, deluded by the ring's grip, accuses him of betrayal and sends him away. Meanwhile, Denethor, mad with grief and despair, sends Faramir on a hopeless mission to retake Osgiliath. As the soldiers ride out, Pippin sings a haunting song, and Denethor eats his meal in cold silence, unaware that he is sending his son to near-certain death. Elsewhere, Aragorn faces his destiny. Elrond appears with a reforged sword Andúril, Flame of the West, and urges him to summon the army of the dead from the mountains of Dunharrow. These ghostly warriors owe allegiance to the heir of Isildur and may be Gondor's last hope. Aragorn, along with Legolos and Gimli, rides into the haunted mountain pass to fulfill the prophecy. Eowyn, heartbroken that Aragorn cannot return her love, secretly rides to battle disguised as a man, with Merry at her side. As Minas Tirith braces for war, Mordor unleashes its full fury. Catapults hurl flaming heads into the city, and the mighty battering ram Grond smashes the gates. Denethor, now fully lost to madness, tries to burn himself and Faramir alive, but Gandalf and Pippin intervene just in time. The Witch King rides into battle, terrifying all who stand before him. In Cirith Ungol, Gollum finally betrays Frodo to Shelob, the monstrous spider. Frodo is stung and paralyzed, but brave Sam returns, wielding Sting and the Light of Arendelle to battle Shelob in a ferocious fight. Believing Frodo dead, Sam mourns, only to discover that his friend still lives. Orcs capture Frodo and carry him into their tower, and Sam must now face the fortress alone to rescue him. Just when Minas Tirith is about to fall, the riders of Rohan arrive. With trumpets blaring and banners flying, they charge into the enemy ranks. But the battle is far from over. War elephants, the mighty Mumakil, stomp across the field, and Theoden is struck down by the Witch King. Yet out of the chaos, Eowyn stands defiant. With Merry's help, she slays the Witch King. The prophecy fulfilled that no man could defeat him. And just when hope seems lost again, black sails appear on the river. But instead of corsairs, it is Aragorn with the army of the dead. They sweep through the battlefield, turning the tide and freeing Minas Tirith. But the war is not over. Frodo is still in the clutches of the enemy, and the ring is close to falling into Sauron's hands. The final stand is yet to come, and the fate of Middle-earth hangs by a thread. The Return of the King, Part 2, The Final Battle and the Fall of Sauron. With the city of Minas Tirith saved and the forces of Mordor driven back, for now, Aragorn, Gandalf, and the remaining leaders of the Free Peoples realize a hard truth. They may have won the battle, but they have not yet won the war. Sauron still lives. His eye still searches, and Frodo is still out there, deep in the heart of enemy land. Knowing they cannot defeat Sauron's massive armies head-on, Aragorn devises a bold plan. To distract the Dark Lord, they must march straight to the Black Gate of Mordor. It is a mission of pure bravery and pure risk. With only a small force, Aragorn, Gandalf, Legolos, Gimli, Eomer, and the hobbits Merry and Pippin lead a final stand at the very doorstep of evil. If they fall, all hope may be lost. But if they succeed in drawing Sauron's attention, Frodo might have a chance to complete his quest. Meanwhile, in the dark tower of Cirith Ungol, Samwise the Brave becomes a hero of his own tale. With nothing but his sword, his wits, and his love for his friend, Sam climbs the tower alone. He fights off bloodthirsty orcs, sneaks through the shadows, and finally finds Frodo, weak and afraid but alive. Sam returns the ring to Frodo and lifts him up, literally, when his strength fails. Disguised in stolen orc armor, Frodo and Sam begin their final march across the ashen, crumbling land of Mordor. The air is thick with smoke. The ground burns beneath their feet. They are exhausted, starving, and hunted. But step by painful step, they press onward to the fiery mouth of Mount Doom. Back at the Black Gate, Aragorn and his companions stand before the massive towers of Mordor. The mouth of Sauron, a twisted servant of evil, appears and shows them Frodo's belongings, his cloak, his sword, and the elven brooch. It is a cruel trick meant to break their spirits, but Aragorn refuses to give in. He draws his sword and leads the charge. As thousands of orcs pour from the gates, the final battle begins. Inside Mount Doom, Frodo and Sam climb the jagged path toward the fiery chasm. Every step is agony. At last, they reach the edge of the crack of doom, where the ring was forged and where it must now be destroyed. But just when victory seems within reach, the true power of the ring reveals itself. After all they've endured, Frodo stands at the edge and cannot let go. "The ring is mine," he declares, slipping it onto his finger and disappearing. At that moment, Sauron feels it. The eye turns. His fury erupts. The tower of Barad-dûr trembles. The Nazgul race toward the mountain. But fate has other plans. Gollum, who had followed them secretly, pounces on the invisible Frodo. They wrestle, teeth and claws in rage. Gollum bites off Frodo's finger, and at last reclaims his precious. In his joy, he dances near the edge and slips. Gollum and the ring plunge into the fiery heart of Mount Doom. The ring melts. Its power unravels, and with it, Sauron is finally defeated. His eye bursts into flame and collapses. Barad-dûr crumbles. The towers fall. The Nazgul are consumed in fire. Across Middle-earth, the darkness begins to lift. At the Black Gate, the enemy falters, then flees. The land itself cracks open, swallowing the armies of Mordor. The war is over. On the slopes of Mount Doom, Frodo and Sam, spent, broken, and ready for death, lie together in the ashes. "I'm glad to be with you, Samwise Gamgee," Frodo says here at the end of all things. But it is not the end. Eagles, summoned by Gandalf, soar over the burning mountain and carry them to safety. They awaken in Minas Tirith to a new day. The city is blooming with life. Aragorn, heir of Isildur, is crowned King Elessar. Arwen comes to him at last, and the two are wed in joy and peace. The hobbits are honored as heroes. Even Legolos and Gimli, once strangers, now stand side by side as friends. Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin return to the Shire, changed forever. Their home is untouched by war, yet they see it with new eyes. Sam marries Rosie and begins a family. Merry and Pippin become leaders of their people. But Frodo, though he's saved the world, carries wounds that never truly heal. Years later, Frodo joins Gandalf, Bilbo, and the elves on a ship bound for the Undying Lands, a place beyond pain, where he can finally find peace. He leaves the red book of their story in Sam's care. As the ship sails into the golden horizon, Sam returns home to the Shire, where Rosie greets him at the door. He looks around, smiles, and says the final, beautiful word. "Well, I'm back."
Thank you for watching Storybooks Movie Synopsis. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more movies.